All right, all right, all right. Good evening and welcome to Wind Down Wednesday. I am your hostess, Chantel Taylor, and this is Wealth, Wicks, and Wine. So it is exactly 7 o'clock on the dot here. And today, we usually kick off our podcast in the first hour with our pour, right? So listen, it's been a rough one today. You all didn't get to experience my pour with me. So I went ahead and just took care of that, getting prepared for today's season 2, episode 2, and you're in for such a great and amazing treat. So I did my pour already. And the wine for today is La Pêche. And of course, I am a wine advisor with Wines for Humanity, in addition to numerous other hats that I wear, right? And so the reason why we have this platform, Wealth, Wicks, and Wine, is so that us women can get together and have great conversation. So our whole purpose of doing this is for wine tasting and candlelit conversations about building wealth, business, and other financial matters. And we do that, y'all. We really and genuinely do that. And we have fun while we do it. Also, right? So you know that my family owns a candle company. Wealth, Wicks, and Wine is the name of it. But we also have sub-brands, with Quiescent Moments being my son's candle line, and the family's brand being Wealth, Wicks, and Wine. Very similar to when you go in the big name companies like Bath and Body Works, and you see the Bath and Body Works candle, and then you see White Burn. So we are structured very similar to that. And so, what great way, right, to have conversations is we make sure that we light candles and we pour up glasses of wine and we share information. Sometimes we laugh, we cry, we share, we heal, we vent, we get it out, we celebrate, whatever it is that we need to do as women to survive and make it in this world. We do it together. And that's the reason for this platform. So today's wine, again, is La Pêche. And I always give you the details on the Wines for Humanity selection, right? So La Pêche is, of course, a French sparkling wine infused with peach flavors, offering a delightful balance and fruity sweetness. And it is amazing, y'all. This peach accented sparkling wine pairs very well with a variety of dishes, and I'll share those with you. And so, seafood, the wine's acidity and fruitiness makes it a great match for seafood. And when we do our in person wine tasting, we really do have an amazing chef who actually prepares food that pairs well with our wine. And we've been working with Delicious Bites in Wauwatosa, owned by Ms. Tamira White. So the next time we plan a Wealth, Wicks, and Wine event, I expect for you all to attend if you're local, because you will not get enough of her food and you will definitely enjoy wine such as La Pêche. Other foods that pair well with this wine is soft cheeses. It pairs well with creamy cheeses. And there's spicy cuisine. So I have to honestly say, I don't do well with spicy food, okay? But that's my problem, not everybody else's. And so spicy cuisine, it supposedly pairs well with the La Pêche, but this peachy wine is so good that I have it by itself, actually. And so it is fantastic. And I love it with dessert, like peach cobbler. And for those of you who can have wine and dairy, try it with ice cream. I heard that it's really good with vanilla bean ice cream. But I'm going to stick to the peach cobbler, y'all, and y'all can figure it out yourselves why. But this La Pêche wine is so good. It's amazing, and it is available. You can actually purchase it on my website, which I'll be sharing with you the entire hour that we're together. But for starters, it's wealthwicksandwine.com, and you will be able to order La Pêche. Now, listen, the reason why I selected Wines for Humanity as my distributing company is because they're mission based, right? And so if you order through Wines for Humanity, the owner actually gives donations to nonprofits, and his focus is on homelessness and for those who are less fortunate that can't afford shelter and food. Okay, that is great for me. If you do a wine tasting with us, if you attend one of our wine tastings and you're the hostess, or you come to one that I'm actually putting on and there is no hostess or host, our nonprofit of choice is Kyle Inc., right? Which is one that I am a founding board member of, and I actually run it. And it is a women's based organization. And so the point is that we promote these wines, you order them, you get them, you enjoy them, but the profit is going towards a nonprofit organization. So that's a great way to give back to the community, okay? And then I have to share with you the candle. So tonight we are burning my own creation, which is cigar and jazz. Yes, I am a woman who smokes and enjoys cigars. Okay. I love my cigars. I love going to cigar bars with my husband. And I love pairing my wine with a really nice cigar too. Okay. And so this candle is cigar and jazz. And I love listening to jazz music while I'm working, studying, reading, whatever the case may be. And I usually tend to light this candle because it has a really, really nice sense of wood, jasmine, and tobacco. So I blended and created this beauty myself. Again, you can order the cigar and jazz candle as well on our website by going to www.wealthwicksandwine.com. So when I tell you all that our whole purpose for this platform being Wealth, Wicks, and Wine, there's a reason behind it and there's a story, okay? So the wealth is symbolic of my for-profit financial and bookkeeping and accounting, tax accounting based firm, if you will, where we provide financial resources, bookkeeping for business owners, tax accounting. I am a licensed enrolled agent with IRS, right? I received my license, 3 rigorous, not easy exams, right? Pretty similar to a CPA. But I decided to take the tax accounting route because I have a passion for assisting individuals with achieving their financial goals and dreams. And sometimes tax can be very stressful, right? Depending on who we're talking to. So do not throw away those envelopes. Do not allow those envelopes to sit on your table. If they're from your state DOR, Wisconsin Workforce Development, or any state's Workforce Development or Department of Revenue, open them and give me a call at 262-788-9999 so that I can help you resolve your tax matters. In addition to that, I provide tax planning services. In addition to that, I provide tax preparation services with a niche focus on small business. Yes, we prepare all. And our nonprofit recently was approved as a VITA site this year. What does that mean? That means that we're able to provide free tax preparation services to those who need it most, and it's nationwide. We're not restricted to just the state of Wisconsin, it's nationwide. So we do that as well. And I am a licensed insurance intermediary in several states, and I've been in the insurance industry for quite a while, for almost 30 years now. And I enjoy it still, right? If I didn't, I wouldn't keep renewing those licenses. But I enjoy it. And so I brought all of my businesses and talents together to share with you on this Wealth, Wicks, and Wine platform, where, again, we have wine tasting and candlelit conversations about building wealth, business, and other financial matters. Today, I have a very, very, very beautiful and successful guest who you will meet shortly. And I just want to read some information, right, for you. Let's start with this. In today's economic climate, women, especially women of color, continue to face unique financial challenges. From persistent wealth and wage gaps to limited access to generational wealth, the journey to financial security is anything but even. Okay, and I know many of you can relate to that and understand exactly what that means. Economic downturns hit women harder, particularly those balancing households who are caregiving and have to balance a career and or business. So add systemic inequalities to the mix, and it's clear that smart financial planning isn't just a luxury, it's a necessity. On this episode of Wealth, Wicks, and Wine, we're going to dive deep into how women can take control, shift their money mindset, and begin crafting wealth with intention and power. So, with that being said, I have more information to share about our very special guest today. So, here's what I went and stole off of her LinkedIn profile. And here's what it says: impact drives everything I do. From the moment I entered the workforce at 14, I've been guided by a passion for service, financial empowerment, and creating lasting change in people's lives. Growing up in the inner city, I saw early on how financial education and access could change a family's trajectory. That realization lit a fire in me to be part of that change. My journey began in healthcare, where I cared for hemodialysis patients as a certified clinical hemodialysis technician. It was there I developed a deep sense of empathy, I bet, and a commitment to helping others through life's most vulnerable moments. That same desire to serve led me to the financial industry. Through a top 10 internship program, I discovered a path where I could combine mentorship, education, and strategy to truly empower individuals and families. Within a year, 1 year, I ranked up number 31 nationally out of 3,000 plus interns. Out of 3,000, let me read that again. Out of 3,000 interns, this young lady ranked up to number 31, not just by hitting numbers, but by making meaningful differences in the lives of those I served. Today, I'm proud to be the first African American Growth and Development Director, director in my network office. I recruit, coach, and mentor financial professionals, helping them find a purpose in a career where impact matters. My goal isn't just to build wealth, it's to build confidence, stability, and generational change. My goal isn't to just build wealth, it's to build confidence, stability, and generational change. I believe everyone deserves a partner in their corner, someone who listens, understands, and fights for their future. That's the kind of advisor, leader, and advocate I strive to be every day. Those are the words of Miss Armani Harris, who is a financial advisor with Northwestern Mutual. And I am going to bring her on to the stage right now. Good evening, beautiful. How are you?
Can you hear me well?
I can hear you fine.
There we
Yes.
go. Good evening. Good evening. I'm happy to be here. I was blushing the whole time as I haven't heard that said out loud in a while. I appreciate your professional digging there.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so I just want to share how I know you, Armani.
Mhm.
So Armani is a graduate of Rufus King High School
Yep. Mhm.
and a friend of my beautiful daughter, Dominique Kent.
Mhm.
And they graduated, I believe you two graduated the same year, right?
Same class. Yep.
Same class year. And what class year is that, Armani? We won't tell them your age. We'll make them figure it
Well, they
out.
can figure it out. 2016, which is hard to believe. It's almost 10 years. Gosh. But yeah, 2016.
2016, right? And look at all of what you've accomplished so far in such a small amount of time,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
super proud of you and grateful
Thank you.
that my daughter made me aware of who you are and what it is that you do. I am happy. Oh, and I don't have a problem with admitting, yes, my financial advisor, and every advisor needs an advisor.
Yeah.
Armani is my advisor. And I'm not one of those old women who has an ego larger than life that, oh, she's so young. What can she tell me? Because listen, Miss Armani has educated me on so many levels in so many areas of finance. Because we get old and we get stuck in our ways, us 70.
I love that. Well, Chantel, you said it. I didn't, and no, I appreciate you sharing that. I always say as the years go on, you want someone that's going to be there to keep up with the times and is fresh to the game anywho. So I appreciate your transparency there. And I thank Damo and you for the kind words. She's been a pleasure to stay connected with. And it's yes, crazy how that time flies. I remember us playing basketball together.
Yes. I remember that. I remember I would go. I didn't miss a game, mind you. So I remember you.
I remember. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, you girls were fantastic, and you were leaders even on the basketball court.
Yep. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Well, thank you for joining me today on this podcast. And of course, I have some questions and conversation for you.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start with this one. So, Armani, your track record in the financial space is very impressive.
Thank you.
What would you say has been the driving force behind your success as a woman in a historically male dominated industry?
Yeah, it's a great question. And, I'll try this time here that we have today not to get too much on my soapbox, but I might go there a few times. So just to prepare you all.
All right.
There's a few things. I mean, I think the one that you just mentioned with being in a heavily male dominated industry, that's huge. Right now, and this has probably grown over the last few months, but the last update on statistics we got within our firm across the country is that there was 14 Black women advisors over the year of 5 in our whole firm, right? In our whole firm. Wow. So that blew my mind. And, I think that creates some staying power, just to beat the odds, I would say. But outside of that, I would say my selfish answer is, I'm the second oldest of 7 right now. There's a blended family. And, quite honestly, I feel like I hold the title of the oldest, just based on mindset, if I had to be transparent. And, for my siblings, I grew up kind of, being the second mom to them. Right now, my youngest siblings are 3 years old. And, quite frankly, they could be my kids, And so there's this, I wouldn't say pressure, but there's this drive to make for sure that I can be the ultimate example for them. And so that's huge for me. My one of my youngest sisters actually in college right now, getting after her degree, full scholarship. She's doing so well, and quite frankly, I want her to be better than me. But of course, I have to, run and hold that torch. So I think that family is a big one, right? I want to change the trajectory and break those generational curses within my own immediate family.
Yes, that's amazing. That's amazing. And so just a follow-up question to that. With how many women did you say in the entire company, or is that just in the area? Is that Wisconsin, Milwaukee? Give us some breakdown numbers here.
Yeah. Within the entire company. And so we talk about all the states across the way, there were at that time information that we got, I think, third quarter of last year with one within our multicultural summit. So within my firm, we have an opportunity for African American segment, the Asian American segment, the Hispanic American segment to get together and build camaraderie because of the lack of representation. And we take the time to make for sure we're going over the statistics so that we are aware of them and so that we can change them. And at that point, there was 14 over 5. So 5 years in the business plus women advisors of color, Black women that were still standing and creating impact in this field. Now, I'm not quite sure what the other firms that, what their numbers are, but I mean, Northwestern Mutual, them being what they are, I would imagine that it's either the same, if not less, representation.
Wow. That is amazing. And I hope that the career the path that you're on is rewarding, not just to self-fulfillment, right? But financial fulfillment for you as well.
Yeah.
I know that the industry is not easy. Staying power is not always easy, but if you stay the course, it does pay off at the end. And I don't think individuals understand, Armani, some of the sacrifices that financial representatives make just to be around.
Oh my gosh, I tell you.
Resources. So touch on that for me, if you will, that I don't want people thinking, oh, if we give her our business, she's rolling in the dough, because that's not how it is at all.
No, it's a great question. And I appreciate you bringing it up because, all business has its up and downs, right? All business, whether you had or you started a restaurant or a clothing store, right? Those first, which is why, I share the statistic on 5 years. Those first 3 to 4 to 5 years are pivotal in a business. But you mash a business with one of the most, I would say, taboo, maybe is the word, or one of the most touchy subjects within our culture, money. And being a woman of color and woman in this business, I feel like we already start from third base when it comes to that, right? So, very early on, a lot of what I did was I was hustling and getting in front of people because I knew, and I was so passionate that, man, I know what I'm going to do. I know how I'm going to change their lives. But, the sacrifice that I had up front with that is the lack of willingness for people wanting to, right? I think that there's rightfully so a disconnect with trust when it comes to this industry, but particularly within the colored communities, Black and brown communities. It's hard to trust people, right? All this stuff that's going around, this scam and all. So, I had a mix of that with me also just really so passionate to get out there. I would say I sacrificed a lot of my what's the word? A lot of mental struggle in the beginning of this business that I endured because I started to internalize, well, is this for me? Am I doing it right? Right. It was just naturally that way. But of course, as we went on and I continued to educate myself, I realized it's not a me thing. And it's more so of a mindset thing within our community. So I had to begin to kind of switch how my approach was. But early on, man, it was a sacrifice working and running. And those results, still people that were willing to sit down, but those results were a lot less than what they could be. And so, talk about work-life balance, work was up here, work was up there. So, my best friend, Stephanie Woodson, she's always talking about me. She's like, girl, you are the hardest woman I know, the hardest working woman I know,
Yep.
So, yeah.
Well, we appreciate your sacrifices, Armani.
Thank you, Chantel.
Yes, ma'am. So when you think about crafting wealth, especially for women, what is the biggest myth you believe needs to be broken?
And I guess the first thing that comes to my mind, it may be particular to women. I think it may just be particular in the community as well. The Black and brown communities is that there, and this is true, but I think now in 2025 there's a change and shift with this, with the lack thereof in our past, right? And things that weren't given to us in the school system and the limitation. Um, I think that right now it's a myth because there's so much stuff out there. There are people like me and you, Chantel, out here. And so I think that that is something that we have to let go, that women now have to go past. There's stuff out here. It's just about getting after it and communicating and networking to get and find the resources. And
Mhm.
so, a few months ago, I made a post on my social media about how I'm like, hey, we out here. There's people in these rooms. It might not be many of us, but
Right.
we out here. Tap in.
Yes, we are. Yes, indeed. We are. And as women, we need to be more supportive and receptive of one another, right? I'm going to go ahead and make a statement because it is not to be mean, but it is to provoke change.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and by the way, what are you drinking over there?
I was wondering if you're going to introduce it, and
Yes.
quite frankly, I'm a little, I guess, I'm not with the flow of this because I don't have any wine, Chantel. This is sparkling water, but we gonna act like it's wine, especially since I think it's the same color as yours. That
Pretty
wasn't
much.
planned. Yeah, it wasn't planned.
Almost.
Yeah, yeah, but this is real tasty. It is. It's a orange mango flavor. You
That's
know,
all right. Well, cheers, Armani. Cheers.
cheers to that. Cheers
And
to that.
that is because I could not get her wine bottle in enough time, but that's okay. This
It's
is
okay.
episode 2. She will get her bottle. Thanking her for being a guest on this podcast
Thank
with me.
you. Thank
And the
you.
goal is to get the wine to the guests before the show.
That's all right. That's all right.
Back to that work-life balance thing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I
Okay.
understand it.
Yes. So here's something that I have noticed as a financial professional myself, that we're more receptive to what, and fine, we have the right to do business with who we want to do business with, right? But there is something that I need the community to understand. There are women of color, black and brown, right? Asian women, and pretty much women in general who are very knowledgeable in the area of finance. Just because a white middle-aged male knocks on your door
Right.
doesn't mean that he has all of the answers. I'm not saying they don't have any answers. What I'm saying is give your fellow woman an opportunity to present to you financial information,
Yep.
to tell you what it is that she does, promote her, right? Help her build her business, right? And understand the sacrifices and education that comes along with being in this industry. You have to pretty much, to be successful, be a degree professional or have some college courses under your belt. There's studying that's involved. We have to be licensed in this industry.
Yeah.
Right? Armani, I know that you're licensed.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us all the licenses that you have under your belt?
Yeah, yeah. So, just to be able to get into this business, you have to have your state life and health insurance license, which comes at a cost and comes at an investment of your time. Um, so I have both of those. I also have all three of my series licenses, so Series 6, Series 63, and the SIE, in order to give advice, fiduciary advice on investments. And I add that in because there's so much stuff out here on the, TikTok University and Google's, and some of that stuff is good and real, but you want to be careful on who you're getting advice from people who are not credentialed. And so I hold those three licenses. But, as you were sharing, Chantel, I think about your question around the sacrifice, something I didn't mention. Right now, I'm a CFP candidate. And what that means for the viewers is a CFP is a certified financial planner. And so in English, that is the equivalent of my PhD.
Yes.
financial planning. And I am one course away from tackling that here this year. The goal is end of year around November or so. It's a 6-hour board exam. So send me some good vibes in the comments if you have them. But those 7 courses to prepare for that exam each are $1,000 a class.
Yes.
And to take the exam itself is another $1,000. And so, I figured I share, we talk about sacrifice and investment for not just me, of course, as I run the business, but for the community. And so at that point, that would be my, I guess, 5th license, but more so a designation, but it would be number 5 total with continuing education.
That is going to be fantastic.
Can't wait. I can't wait. There is just another statistic to share, and this updates because people like us, but there is across the country, so not just my firm, but across the country, there's less than 2% of Black professionals, both men and women, that hold a CFP designation. Wow. So Chantel, listen, we're gonna be in Jamaica somewhere warm.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes, indeed. And you will pass that exam. What did you say, in November?
In November. Yeah, we were thinking July, but the timing for this last course might stretch it out. So November is the next time. Yeah.
It's already done.
It's already done. It's already done.
We're just waiting on November to get here. That's all.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm already done. All right. So thank you for that information, Armani. Now, you've helped many women shift from survival mode to thriving financially, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. Can you share one story that stuck with you?
Yeah. And I mean, as you say that, I'm just trying to narrow it. How could I say? Okay, so I have one, and I think this is a testament to why financial planning is important. I think this is a testament of doing it and being coachable and starting somewhere. This is a young woman who is not too far from my age. She, when we connected, was a recent graduate, she was very close to graduating. She actually did not finish graduating with her master's at the point because, like how many times for women, life happened for her. Mm-hmm. And, certain family things, pivots within her professional wants got in the way of that. And so that was fine. And I was there, of course, to talk her through. I say I'm a financial advisor, financial advocate, but sometimes I'm a financial therapist. People, they share some things with me that they may not even share with their family or friends, And so I was there to be a soundboard for her as she game plan making some shifts from one state to another state because of her situation. But really what I want to speak light to is that as a young woman, not even finished with college, she trusted me enough to allow her or to guide her to save for times as such as the one that came. Mm-hmm. And so when really stuff hit the fan and, she was laid off and, making a really good income, most certainly, fresh out of school or pausing school, when she was laid off, she was able to come back to me and utilize the planning that we did for her. Right. And so I think that without, being the catalyst and pushing her to do something, right, while in graduate school, without doing that for her, she wouldn't have got through that patch that she went through to be able to, having to go back home and having to still, pay certain bills and not having the income. So that's one that stands out. And I thank her for just trusting in me, especially for where she's at. A lot of times for the the Gen Z, the 20 somethings up to 30, you got to kind of pull them by the ear, yes, or have them see it to believe it. But she was one that never buckled at the advice that I given her. We did some other things, but I think that one stands out because just recently spoke with her and now, things are going good for her. So now we're to a point where we can start to replenish. We can even do more and greater than before. But, it's just very cool to see that come to light. And that was 2-3 years of planning for her.
Good, good. So sometimes it doesn't happen instantly.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
we have to do the work. Because guess what? When we mess up with our finances, and I just taught this to a class that I'm teaching for the Blueprint Armani
Hmm.
under the nonprofit, the Blueprint Business and Succession Planning course. And what I explained to them on Saturday was we take the time to mess it up, don't we? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
we drag our credit. We don't save. We don't put money away for retirement. We don't
So,
file taxes. I mean, it takes, and then it's one year after another, and time flies when you're having fun.
yes, it does. Mm-hmm.
Next thing you know, you're married, you want to buy a house, you have children who are on the way to college, and we haven't done any proper planning.
Yeah.
Then we want instant results. And that's not the way it works.
No. For sure. That's so well said, Chantel. I love that. Yeah, we do mess it up, mess it up, and then I have to give people the tough love to get them back in shape.
That's
Okay. It ain't gonna fall from the sky,
right.
right? So yeah, very well said.
Whew. Yes, yes, yes. All right. Thank you for that information, Armani. So, what are the top three moves women can make today to start building long term wealth, no matter where they're starting from?
Yeah, it's a great question. The first one I would say is it may sound simple, but it's so powerful, and it's creating a budget of some sort.
Mhm.
And I say that because there's power in knowing where you're at, right? There's power in knowing where your feet are at. I think a lot of time people we go day by day, or I might screw this up. I'm good for this. I think they say you fly by the seam of your pants, right?
Yes.
Just going, going and going and going, and again expecting for things to fall in line when there's no structure.
Yes.
And so it's very important to first start understanding, well, what's coming in versus what's going out, so that you can make informed decisions on the next thing, whether it's a personal, professional, or financial goal that you have. You might reflect on that budget and see there's no money left over after you pay your bills and live your lifestyle. And so again, from there, you're able to make an informed decision. On the flip side, you might see you got a ton of money left over where it encourages you or allows you to again make a good informed decision. Or you might be like, it don't feel like I got all this money left over. Where's it going? So
Mhm.
in a nutshell, it gives you some good perspective. So I think again, starting with a budget so that you can make or a cash flow analysis. I always say that because a lot of times people think a budget is having to give or take. Not necessarily. It's just about knowing where you're at. So
Right.
having that cash flow analysis is important for long-term wealth.
True.
Um, the second one that I think is important to know is start putting away something, right? Start to save something. If it's a savings account, high yield savings account. If it's a individual retirement account, if it's a retirement with the employer, even if you ain't gonna be with them for forever, put it in that account, out of sight, out of mind. Because I always say that 5% on $50 is a lot more than 5% on $0.
Right.
Right. So start small. I guarantee you won't even see it go out the door. And as you build that, you have more confidence that comes where you can start to do more and more and more. And
Mhm.
so, I know that might be very broad, but just put it away. That's more the advice to help build long-term wealth. Do something. We'll easily go and spend, and I'm talking for me too, $25 at Chick-fil-A at one time.
Yes, we do.
And if you got a family, that might be $50, and that's one time.
Right. Right.
So just think about the trade-off of that, right? You put money somewhere where to get working for you, and you just sit it there. So
Mhm.
that's another thing to build long-term wealth. The last one that I think you could make a testament to, Chantel, and blows my mind as I always hear you say the 30 years that you've given to the risk management industry. It's just admirable because it's a difficult business to make people believe in it or not think that it's a scam or all of these different things when quite frankly, it's what people who don't look like us have been doing for years. And so
Yes.
where I'm going, I think the last thing that a woman can do is purchase a life insurance policy. And I say purchase because through your employer, it's not enough because most likely, let's say you retire with them, it does not carry with you. And if you if you change jobs in between, it does not carry with you. The last thing you want to be doing is at age 60, 70, something, whatever it is, looking for a life insurance plan. And
Mhm.
reason why I'm saying it can create that long-term wealth generationally, it passes on. And, the rule of thumb I got is that it takes 3 generations to truthfully keep wealth in the family. So,
True.
so doing that and locking in something as soon as you can, because it's the most inexpensive as it can be, the youngest and healthier you are. I think that's the last thing that someone can do to create wealth. You may not see it, you may not inherit. Well, you won't see that, but the generations to come will inherit it, and that's what's most important.
That is amazing advice. That is amazing information. I just want to understand, or I want our listeners and viewers to understand one thing, because I have to protect Armani and Chantel, right? Is this: we are not your financial advisors, okay? If you want advice that you're going to go after, either become a client of Armani, right? But we're not advising you. This is simply information that we're sharing, that could be resourceful. Do your own research, do your own homework. Now, to become a client of Armani, and then particularly, I'll just say it this way, right? Sit down with her, officially become a client, and then you can receive your advice. But right now, she's just giving resources
Yeah.
and just some of the things that women can do to advance in life. We're not advising you. We're not your attorney. We're
Yep.
not your CPA. I'm not your EA. Arvani's not your particular financial advisor, not yet.
Mm-hmm.
Until you sign paperwork and become a client, then you're getting advice. But right now, we're just sharing resources
Yeah.
over a nice candlelit conversation and a glass of wine, right?
Yep. There we go. Well said. Well said.
Yes. So thank you for that, Armani. And life insurance, life insurance, life insurance, life insurance. Okay. I really, really, really need for our community to understand the importance of it. Stop looking at TikTok videos where they're giving you these fly by night strategies that nobody can stand by. They're probably not licensed professional. Armani just explained that she has 3 investment licenses. 3. She also has how many insurance licenses, Armani?
2.
I'm assuming life and health.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, life and health coupled with 3 major investment licenses plus college education and other certifications, okay, and licenses. You can bank on what she tells you.
Mm-hmm.
Take it to the bank and cash it.
Yeah, it's a good check. It's a good check.
It's not going to bounce.
Mm-hmm.
Northwestern Mutual Life, or Northwestern Mutual, is an amazing company. They've been around for years. Not a fly by night company. This company is major. This is a real company. And here she is, a professional woman in the industry of finance, telling you that you need to get a life insurance policy. Please listen. Armani, how does one get in contact with you as it relates to life insurance?
Yeah, there's a few ways. So I'll share first that on Facebook. So these social medias, Facebook and Instagram. My page is just my first and last name. Instagram, there's 1_, and then there's my first and last name, Armani Harris. I also share right now what I use as my business phone. It's 414-394-4103. 414-394-4103 is my contact. Give me a call. If I don't get back, I'll get back to you shortly after. And lastly, my email, which is my first dot last name at N as in Nancy, M as in Mary.com.
All right. All right. Thank you for sharing your contact information. Critical, critical. One of the wealth strategies that other cultures get. Okay. When I'm not going to tell you my age, right? Right. Tonight, I'm not. Okay. But when I started off, I was probably younger than Armani. I was 22 years old, pregnant with Dominique, and she was born in July. I passed my life and health exam in August
Wow.
on maternity leave from work. I was determined. So
Wow.
I've had many conversations about wealth strategy, right? And I haven't written nearly as many life policies that I ventured to when I first started. And Armani, I think that hesitance is the reason. I
Mm-hmm.
think that many of us are hesitant. We don't believe what we're hearing, or we don't believe in the person we're hearing it from. And that it shoots us in the foot every time. So if I could, I just want to share that we're our own enemy at
Yeah.
times.
Mm-hmm.
We need to get out of our own way as women,
For sure.
right? And you need to contact Armani. I'm giving you a directive. This is non-negotiable. You need to contact Armani, and don't be sitting up. I'm sorry. I'm at a point in my life where the sugar coat is no good for me or
You ain't
anybody
got time
else.
to twiddle no fingers.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
The sugar coat gets no generational wealth strategies brewing in our community. And guess what? We're hesitant, we're looking, we're hating, we're doing all the things that are ridiculous. And so we need to toss that to the side and deal with our finances. Become a wealth strategist. Understand that life insurance is just one tool, one
Yep.
vehicle that you can use to make your family wealthy, and stop with the foolishness, right? Why would I leave them anything? Didn't nobody leave me anything? But yet we sit up and we complain about other cultures
Yep.
and what they have and what we don't have.
This economy, all of that, right? Yep.
Enough is enough. Enough is enough. I don't know why individuals wouldn't call you after hearing you today.
Yep. You're
You
so
know,
right.
you
Yeah.
put your phone number, your email, your contact information, and I know she's available because I call her
Mm-hmm.
and she
Mm-hmm.
responds. And I expect for this community, starting with Milwaukee first. What other states are you licensed in, Armani?
Oh, I wish I had something here to pull up. I don't know if this is going to close out, but right now, about 18 states. So, New York, Georgia, Arkansas, believe it or not, Arkansas, Texas, Illinois, um, where else? Massachusetts, Pennsylvania. And so those are a few off the top of my head, but I believe it's around 18 because to your point, renewing those licenses and paying those fees, they come back around every year or two. So,
Every year, like clockwork,
oh,
whether you wrote business in that state or not.
yeah. Yep. Yep. Exactly.
Along with continuing education. So I can vouch and say that she knows what she's talking about. It is definitely a wealth strategy. And I will not say more because, again, we are not your advisor, but you need to sit down, get some type of financial analysis done. Armani will give you paperwork, she gives you receipts and information, and she will tell you based on your income, this is how much you need to be saving towards your nest eggs, towards your retirement. Because she got me together in that area. I am not a licensed investment advisor. I do not want to be. And Armani was able to help me get my own my retirement plan locked down, right? And so do that. Contact Armani, please. I'm not going to harp on it. I could go on and on and on and on about life insurance because we do not have it. And GoFund, last point, I promise. I'm on my soapbox now.
The fish fry, Chantel. Lord.
If I see another GoFundMe, and now they have one for life insurance. I couldn't tell you the name of it right now, but there's like a crowdfunding resource for, oh, my brother or my sister or my mom or my so and so did not have life insurance and we need to get donations to be. I have no sympathy for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the younger you
Yeah.
are, the more life insurance you're able to purchase. Not because Armani and I can want to make a commission. right? We are doing our work. Of course, we deserve, just like when you swipe in at your job, you're
Right.
not working for free and you feel like you deserve to be paid, right? Run
Exactly.
her money, because she doesn't sit and talk about finance because she's cute and beautiful, and you're available, to listen to her. No.
And sometimes those conversations do not compensate me,
Exactly.
right? They don't compensate us if there's no action taken. So just want to add that. I just want to add that. I love it. Chantel, you listen, let them know. Let them know.
I will say all the things that because again, almost 30 years in the game,
Mm-hmm.
and I have no shame at this point. I used to be timid and not anymore. Not
Mm-hmm.
anymore. Listen, do it. And stop passing the hat around and frying the fish dinners and having the rummage sales on somebody's lawn because you need to bury somebody. Get a life insurance policy. And the younger you are, the healthier you are, the more policy you can purchase, the more insurance coverage, I meant to say, you can
Yep.
purchase at a reasonable rate. Stop waiting until you're 99 and a half and with one.
Yeah, it can't get it, or it's an arm and a leg, I'll share this because when I was introduced to all of this as an intern, I actually got my first plan at 21. And it's different kinds, of course, I'll say, but the kind that I got as I stepped my foot in the door as a broke college student, I was able to capture $1.3 million of legacy planning for $30 at the age of 21.
Yes.
$30. 1.3 million that if something happened to me, prematurely, is going to my mom, my sister, my dad, right? It's a game changer.
Yes, it is. Generational wealth. If you want to be a blessing to your family in that way, especially if you're a business owner. I'm going to stop there because we can go really far down
All
that.
day, all day,
Okay. All
all
right.
day. But Chantel, I appreciate your wisdom and all the efforts that you've given, not in just all of these things, because you Julie all trades, okay? And you didn't even mention the mom and the grandmom, and right, you're a superwoman. And
Mhm.
so I really do appreciate you sharing and just the impact that you've made in all of these areas to people over these last 30 years. It's huge.
Thank you, Armani. Thank you, and God bless you.
God
And
bless you.
her courage and wherewithal to be able to keep going, because it's not an easy industry. It's just like construction for a woman. It's not easy. So
Yep.
don't give up. Keep going. We need you. I
We
have
do.
more that I have to ask you. So if
Okay.
a woman is feeling overwhelmed or late to the game financially, what would you say to her right now?
Yeah, I love this because I engage with people in all phases. So right now, my youngest clients are no longer my baby brothers. It's actually a little baby boy who's just over 3 months old. But my oldest client will actually be 72 this year. So I'm meeting people at all different phases, and I'm able to get this, information and just wisdom from working with them, navigating. What I would say, number one, is that it's never too late to start. Ever. Ever. It's never too late to start somewhere. Sure, you may not have that dream exactly like how you had it when you were thinking about it when you were 25, but
Mhm.
you can create dreams. You can create comfortability by just starting. Don't let that, kind of woe is me or the time that's passed get in front of you starting somewhere, right? So that's what I would say to someone who may be later to the game, is that everybody can have a plan. It's just in what way can we mold that now to where you are at in the moment, right?
Yes.
I would also say, right, with that being said, it's important to try to find a trusted individual, because when you get to certain stages, you don't have time. Again, you don't have time to play. And it's good for everybody to find a trusted individual. But
Mhm.
for certain, to make for sure you're, again, as we, not to be redundant, but find someone that is credentialed, find someone that's not going to play, find someone that's locked in for you to continue to encourage you so that you can play out the strategies that they're laying out. And
Yes.
lastly, what I would say is the strategies they're laying out, do it, right? You find and you confide in that person that you can trust. At that point in time, as you share, it's not time to pit pat. So don't contradict, right?
Mhm.
Don't contradict that when you get the opportunity to speak with someone to do it, right? Do it, believe in it, make the sacrifice that for whatever reason you didn't have to make the years before. It's really time at that point to put your head down and get to it. That's what I would say.
Absolutely. And that's a great, great response. Great response. With just a few minutes left, I left the best question very last. And today we spoke on legacy. Legacy is a word that we really don't hear enough in financial conversations.
Mhm.
We don't talk about it enough. And so, Armani, what does legacy mean to you? And how do you guide your clients in building theirs?
Mm. Oh, this one is deep. I'll try and be as concise as I can. Um, the first thing that I feel about legacy, especially as I continue to grow as a young woman growing in my faith, as a young woman being a woman to many different areas, it's easy to say, and that's part of it, that legacy looks like money, right? Or the dollars or the wealth. But I think what I'm paving now and what I hope to pave and what I know I will pave is legacy. Right. As I talk and you read, and again, it's been a while since I've really reflected on that in that way, being the first of something within my industry, being the first GDD within my agency, being one of one Black women leaders within, 50 people within 5 agencies,
Mhm.
and all the things that are to come with that. I think that's legacy, right? I think that if I was no longer here, I want my friends, family, loved ones, community to know who Armani was and what she was about, right? Not just the dollars, but what characteristics did she have? Remembering her smile, remembering how she poured into people, how she made people feel in those interactions. And those are things that I bring and I show up with my clients, right? I have some people who, quick in and out, but my clients over the last 5 years have become friends of mine. They have become, partners in some sort for business endeavors.
Mhm.
So legacy for me, and my heart is so warm sharing this. It's about people knowing who I was and the things that I was about. That's the first thing. But of course, my goal is to be able to provide for my parents in ways, that they could never imagine. Providing a lifestyle for my parents, my siblings, even my grandparents. As I thank God that they're still with me. My great grandmother is, just turned 93 in January of this year. So, continue to strive, do things that she never got to do, but also be able to provide them a lifestyle that they never imagined, whether it was travel or fine dining or, whatever it may be. That is what comes second.
That's amazing. That is amazing. That is amazing. And thank you, Armani. Thank you so, so, so much. Thank you for being here tonight with me. I
For
want
sure. It was a no-brainer.
I want you to know that your contributions to our community are appreciated. Okay. I want you to know you're appreciated. I want you to keep going. Don't stop. I want you to write thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of life insurance policies, right? Because where there's passion, there's profit.
Yeah,
And so, because you lead with passion, and it's not that, hey, everybody that you see is not a paycheck,
exactly.
everybody is not going to be a client. But the fact that you're educating folks and providing the resources and giving the information, mentoring up and coming professionals, we didn't really get a chance to even hone in on that skill that you have as a financial advisor. Okay, we talk a lot about that, but Armani is coaching and developing other financial representatives. So if you even have a thought, because it doesn't always have to be what you spend your money on, if you're thinking about getting involved in the financial industry, you want to reach out to Armani even for that, because she may be able to lead you right down the right path. And let me tell you from experience, 30 years of experience, that every company is not worth you sitting down in a cubicle and picking up a phone saying that you provide life or financial products or services. But Northwestern Mutual is. That is that's a very good company to work for.
100%.
Okay. And Armani is one of the best there is in our community to do it. And so, again, Armani, I thank you. One more time, if you would please share your contact information with our listeners and viewers.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much, Chantel, for those kind words. Again, you all can contact me on Facebook, Instagram, my first name, last name, Instagram. There is an underscore before my first name. You can email me at my first dot last name at nm.com. So Armani, ARMONI dot Harris at N as in Nancy, M as in Mary.com. And lastly, my contact number is 414-394-4103.
Thank you so much, Armani.
Thank you.
All right, as we wrap up, I want to thank everyone that was able to join us live today on YouTube. And remember that this platform is all about wealth building, right? Conversations. We have great conversations. We have wine tasting and candlelit conversations about building wealth, business, and other financial matters. And today, the beautiful Armani Harris blessed us with resources and information. Please reach out to her. And until next time, we'll be back next month for episode 3. Thank you for listening. Have a great evening.
Bye-bye.
Bye.